We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
In the previous lecture, we have introduced about collection interfaces in collection framework, concrete classes available in collection framework. We also looked about the collection framework hierarchy. In this lecture, we'll learn about the collection interface, also iterator interface. We'll also learn about various list type collections, and I will give you some sample programs in which you will learn how to use collection classes in your program. So first of all, we discuss about the collection interface. Collection interface contains various methods for adding, removing, and searching elements in collections. So all collections are similar whether you operate list or queue or sets or stack, they all operated in similar fashion. That is the reason Java defines the collection interface, and collection interface is realized by all these concrete classes. So first of all, we will look various methods of collection interface which will be available in concrete classes, whether they are list classes or they are set classes or they are queue classes. So add method, if you want to add an element in collection, you can use add method. You can also add entire collection to another collection by using add all method. Similarly, you can remove and remove all. The size method will give you the size of collection. With the clear, you will be able to clear entire collection. You can also search an element in collection by using contains method. Most important method of collection interface is iterator. It will return iterator object. We'll learn about iterator in next slide. So next, before understanding iterator, uh, we are talking about iterable interface. Every collection extends iterable interface. Iterable is a base interface of Java collection framework hierarchy. So every collection is iterable. Iterable means you can sequentially access it. So iterable interface defines iterator method, which is available also in collection interface because collection interface extends iterable interface. So iterator methods returns iterator. Now what is iterator? Iterator provides uniform way for accessing elements in collections. So iterator provides you sequential access of all elements of collection by next method. By using next method, you can access elements sequentially. You can also use has next method, which will give you whether there are more elements in iterators available. So iterator is very important object by which you can access entire collection. Next is list type collections. List type data structures stores ordered collection of objects. List allows you to have duplicate elements in your list. So list interface contains different methods that can be used to insert, delete, access the elements from the list. So list interface extends collection interface. So all methods of collections are available in list interface, and they will be available in the implementing classes also. So there are various concrete classes which realize list interface. One is the array list. Array list, you can consider it is a dynamic array which can store duplicate elements of different types. One class is linked list. Linked list you have studied in previous semester, which stores elements and maintains insertion order. Each element points to next element, and each each element contains pointers to previous element and next element of the list. So linked list is completely dynamic in sense it will not store elements in a fixed array like array list. Array list is dynamic, but it initially occupies certain memory for elements. When the limit or capacity of array list is reached, then again it is possible to insertion, but at that time it reallocate uh, memory and copy all the element to new place. So array list in one sense it is not completely dynamic, while linked list is completely dynamic data structure. Stack, which is subclass of vector, implements last in first out LIFO access. So I talk about each list interface in detail in upcoming slide. So now it's time for reflection quiz. So which concrete class provides you LIFO access to collection? Take a pause, think about it. So the answer is Stack. Stack provides you LIFO access to collection. Next, we'll take example of array list. Array list provides you dynamic array in which you can store your objects. So first of all, you need to import java.util to use collection classes which are available in Java collection framework. Next, you will define your class and define main, and then after you need to create array list object. So array list, uh, this array list stores string. That is the reason we need to specify in CO type that it will be able to store strings. The collection framework gives you capability to store any type of objects. That is the reason the entire Java collection framework is generically implemented, means it will be able to store any type of objects. It works for parameterized type, we can say. So this list can store strings. So that is the reason we are specifying string here. Then after we can add any element into list. Suppose we are preparing a movie list. So we are adding a film into a list. Then after we again add a list into add a film into a list. Then after, if we want to access entire list sequentially, linked list normally access sequentially. So we need to define iterator. Iterator will provide us sequential access. So how we will able to get iterator to collection? So every collection provides you iterator method which will return iterator object. So we'll define iterator and then we'll use iterator method of list to get the iterator object. Next, we'll define a loop which will access all element of iterator. The loop while loop works until there is element in iterator. So this loop will print all elements in the iterator. So iterator will access each object in array list sequentially and will print all uh, elements of list. So we'll get output Tanaji and Kesri. Next, we are taking example of linked list. Again, in linked list we need to import java.util and then we need to define a class. Then we need to define public static void main. Then we'll define linked list object, and linked list object will hold string. That is the reason we need to specify that our linked list is going to hold strings object. And then we will add element in our linked list. Suppose we want to add 2 branches of engineering into our list, and then after we will define iterator in same way we defined in earlier slide to access array list. So a linked list is also collection, we can say, and it provides us implementation of iterator method, and iterator will give us iterator object, and with the iterator object in same way we will access all elements of linked list. So this is the example of linked list, and then after we can also compare what is the difference between array list and linked list. So we have already discussed array list is dynamic, but it is fixed size in one sense. It initially allocated to some fixed size memory, and when it reaches its limit it needs to reallocate, while linked list is completely dynamic and allocate memory every time whenever the element is inserted into linked list. So if we compare array list and linked list, insertion in linked list will be always easy and fast compared to array list, because array list needs to check whether it reaches its limit or not. Even removal also better in case of linked list than array list due to same reason as insertion. Linked list in one sense disadvantageous because it has more memory overhead than the array list, because linked list stores or linked list requires memory for storing address of previous and next element at each element. Every element of linked list will store address of previous element and also next element of list. That is the reason it requires more memory. When we talk about searching an element in linked list and array list, they both require order of n time, because you need to search entire list for finding an element. But array list is beneficial in one case because we can apply binary search on array list, and the binary search can be completed in O log n time. So these are the various comparison. You also need to think about the difference between array list and linked list. Now it's time to talk about stack. Stack is a subclass of vector. You already aware that stack is a LIFO list or LIFO data structure which provides two popular operations. One is push for inserting item, and this insertion will always be done at the top, and pop returns top element of stack. In the next slide, we'll discuss about how we can use stack class in our program. Let us examine various methods available in stack class. Stack class extends vector class, and stack provides last in first out access to collection. Stack class have various methods. We will be able to create stack object with the constructor. Then we can use empty method to check whether our stack is empty. Then after we can use peek method to get the top element of the stack. Peek and pop are similar, but pop returns the top element and also remove it from stack, while peek will not remove top element from stack, it will return only. Push, we have discussed, it will insert element into stack. With the search, we will be able to search an element in the stack and it will return the position of element in the stack. Now we can take example of stack. For stack, first of all we need to import java.util. Then after we need to define a class, and then in the main method we will create a reference of stack and we'll create stack object. We need to specify that our stack object will hold strings. So this book stack will store standard references for Java programming. So in the book stack, we'll use push operation and we'll push Introduction to Java Programming by Daniel Liang. Then after we'll push head first. Then after we will push Java complete reference. Now we'll use pop operation. So after pop operation, how many books will be remain in stack? Java complete reference will be popped because it stays at the top of stack after the pop operation. So now you have only two books, Head First Java at the top and Introduction to Java Programming at bottom. Then after we can pop all element of stack by using simple while loop. In while loop we'll use empty method to check whether the stack is empty. So this loop will runs until your stack is empty and it will pop all elements one by one. So you will get output. It will print head first Java, then after it will print Introduction to Java Programming. Now it's time for reflection quiz. We have learned about various interfaces and various objects in collection framework. So which object provides you sequential access to collection? So you need to recall which object you have used to get sequential access to collection. Take a pause, write your answer. Answer is iterator. Iterator is very important object which is written by iterator method of collection interface, and collection interface is realized by almost all collection classes. So you will be able to get iterator from any collection class, and with iterator you will be able to access elements in sequential manner. Now it's time to understand queue. Queue is also very important data structure. It works in FIFO fashion, first in first out. So here is a diagram. You can insert element into queue at the rear end, and you will always remove element from queue from the front of queue. So this queue you have already studied and you have also implemented in data structure, but here queue is available as an interface and which is realized by various classes in Java collection framework. Another type of queue is priority queue. In priority queue, elements are assigned priorities, and when we access elements, the element with highest priority is removed first. So with the priority queue, we can implement many important queues like which which task or which process uh, based on priority needs to be executed can be implemented in operating system. So we'll discuss about priority queues later. Here we will closely examine queue interface. Queue is interface which extends collection interface. So all collection methods are available in queue interface. Queue interface provides various methods. First method is offer method, which inserts an element into queue. You can also use add method of collection to add element into queue, but offer is like insert. It will insert an element into queue. Next is poll method. Poll retrieve and remove element from the head of queue. So it is like remove, but it will return null in case of empty queue. Remove and poll are similar. Remove and poll are similar, but remove will give you exception in case of empty queue. Next is peek method. Peek retrieves element from the queue but does not remove, and it will return null in case of empty queue. While element is similar to peek, but it will return exception in case of empty queue. So we have discussed various method of queue interface, but queue is interface. It is not a concrete class which can be directly used for implementation. So if you want to implement, uh, if you want to use ready-made class, then you can use either priority queue, linked list, and array DQ. DQ, you will be aware about DQ, that in DQ you will be able to insert and remove element from both end. So DQ is realized by linked list and array DQ, and priority queue realize queue interface. So three classes you can use for queue implementation: linked list, array DQ, and priority queue. Now we can take example of simple queue by using linked. So by using linked list we can implement queue. So linked list will be physical object, and that linked list will be accessed in form of queue interface. So with the offer method, we will be able to insert element, and we can also use add method for inserting elements. Like we have inserted 4 elements here. Then after, if we want to remove elements, then we can use size method, which will return queue size, and if it is greater than 0, we will be able to remove elements from queue, and it will print all elements in sequence: Virat, Ajink, Rohit, Shikhar. Then we'll discuss about priority queue. Priority queue is a concrete class, provides implementation of priority queue. By default, priority queue orders its element according to natural ordering using comparable interface. So comparable interface is realized by almost all wrapper classes, and also string, integer, bool, all wrapper classes implement or realize comparable interface. With the comparable interface, we can compare two objects. So element with the least value is assigned the highest priority, and it will be removed from the queue first. And if elements have same priority, then the tie will be broke arbitrarily. Now we can take example of priority queue. If we want to implement priority queue, we need to use priority queue class. So we are defining priority queue object, which will hold collection of strings. We can use offer method for inserting element into queue. We can also use add method for inserting elements into queue. So we have inserted 4 elements: Virat, Ajink, Rohit, Shikhar, and we will be able to access all this element or remove all this element by using size method and remove method. So this while loop will work until there is an element in queue, and it will remove element from queue. So what will be the output you expect from this program? It will be similar to previous one, or it will be different. It will be different because priority queue removes element on the basis of priority. So in the reflection queue quiz, the question is, what will be the output of last program on priority queue? And the answer this time I am giving, it will be Ajink, Shikhar, Rohit, Virat. And you can realize that uh, Virat is inserted first, but it is not printed first. Ajink will be printed first because priority queue use comparable interface to get priority of element. So Ajink is having least value because in lexicographical sort, Ajink will be sorted first. So Ajink will be least value and it represent highest priority. That is the reason Ajink will be printed first. And similarly, you can get lexicographic sort of string. So this is the example on priority queue. You can also take examples from various sites and run from your end. Thank you for attending this lecture on collection. You can send your query in comment box or email me on nilesh.maltare@gcmodasa.org. Thank you.